All right.
Hello, this is Sunil Sundaraj with njvarsity.rivals.com. I'm happy to welcome in tonight Kean University football senior defensive lineman Leo Cruz. Leo, thank you so much for taking some time out to speak with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's a blessing, honestly.
Hey, congrats, Leo. I said a great career there. I mean, can you talk about? I mean, this was, of course, unprecedented. Past year with the COVID-19 pandemic. Full schedule getting wiped out, and just playing a single game here, I think, in the spring. But just to get out on that football field, man, with your teammates, with the coaching, with the coaches. Can you just talk about what that meant to you personally?
Well, honestly, it kind of made me more grateful to the game. Honestly, more grateful for a lot of things because not only did I have the season taken away because of COVID, the year before that, I missed the entire year because of injury.
Mm-hmm.
I got hurt the second day of camp.
Oh wow.
So I didn't even get to wear football pads for probably around 2 years.
Mm.
So
Okay.
being January when I got to finally put some pads on for the first time in 2 years, honestly, I told myself I wouldn't take practice for granted anymore.
Yeah.
And honestly, sometimes it's hard because we had practice at like around 5:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Around there, 5:45, we had to be on the field. So it takes a certain level of dedication and honestly drive to even get there to that point because waking up every day at 4 o'clock in the morning is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And there's some people that aren't morning people. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm a morning person since I was a little kid. I got that instilled in me by my parents. But there's some people it's hard for them to wake up. So that's half the battle for some people. But honestly, while in practice, it's just amazing. Actually being out there, being back with your teammates, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because you, especially during the COVID pandemic, you kind of lose that Zoom meetings, things like that. You try your best, but that camaraderie that in practice when you're in the middle of a drill, you're doing stuff, when you're just sitting there joking around with your teammates, laughing around with your coaches, like those little things, you kind of missed it. And that's something I will never take for granted ever again.
Yeah, I know. Speaking with Dante, said on Friday night he talked about the brotherhood and it's about about the team and said that's the number one goal and it's great to see you guys coming said together. Can you just talk about going back to your injury? I mean, how frustrating that was. You said talk about the injury you sustained and just having to of course go through the recovery said phase and being able to get back, to come back here, said at full strength, Leo.
Yeah. So what I had was an Achilles injury.
Okay.
Around my sophomore year, 2 years ago, I partially tore it.
Mm.
Going into my sophomore year, rehabilitated, I was fine. Then going into my junior year, I had caught full body cramps during the second day of practice, and then something happened to my Achilles where it just got too inflamed, and it like I couldn't walk the next day. So there was a lot of things going on. Honestly, the trainers didn't really know what it was till the end, but they did a really great job of helping me through it. Not only physically getting me through it, but also mentally, because having to sit there and watch your brothers practice, having to sit there and just watch your brothers playing games, losing games, sometimes it's kind of frustrating because you're not able to do anything. You're not able to have your impact that you could bring. So that was honestly the most frustrating part for me, not being able to be there with my teammates, help my teammates. So one thing I really did was I tried to be as active as in practice as possible. So like during the summer, like even in a walking boot, I was running around giving my teammates water. I was always helping the younger guys, watching them, making sure that their steps, their techniques were correct and stuff like that. Because sometimes it's hard for coaches to see everything. So having an upperclassman there to help out sometimes, even when I'm not really doing much, it can help the younger guys a lot. So that's just something I took pride in, was trying to be a leader without being able to play because I was injured.
That's terrific. What I counted on the roster, I think Leo was 9 seniors on this team. I'm just wondering for you guys, like again, I can't imagine. I mean, for the other guys, you train, going back to last year, all summer long, and then bam, it just gets, you get wiped out. I mean, it said, you get canceled there. I'm just wondering, you guys like on this journey, any goal in particular that you guys, set out for yourselves, as a senior group?
We just want to be the best we could be. Honestly, we've helped take that mantra of brothers keeper that we have. So we just try to bring everybody up. Honestly, we believe a lot in 10-80-10, 10% being like the highest achievers, the highest performers. That 80%, which is average, and then that 10%, which is basically unacceptable. Yeah. So as seniors, we're expected to be a part of that 10% that's doing great, and we pull everybody along. So our coach G likes to say, pull average along. So if we keep pushing that barrier up, then honestly, the sky's the limit. So that's just something that we like to do. And as a senior group that we really want to do is just to be a good leader and a good mentor for these younger guys, because we do have a lot of them, especially with COVID. We practically have two groups, a freshman, coming in. So we need to be a strong leadership group in order to actually get the benefit from our young guys.
Definitely. Can you? I had to ask. It's like here being a senior, that first day you were a freshman. It said stepped onto that field. At Kean University. What comes to your mind? Said when you think back on the years there.
that first day, that first day was actually really interesting. We actually had to sit in a hot gym for about 5-6 hours, going through meetings, protocols, all that stuff, meeting all the athletic trainers. Then that night we had a little conditioning practice, so to speak. And it was practically like boot camp. The lights were barely on. Like, it was just a lot of screaming and yelling and running. And honestly, it was really chaotic, and I loved every bit of it. In high school, we were kind of like structured the same way. That we have a certain mentality where I'm from, that it was like no one's gonna work harder than you. So you could be better than me, you could be faster than me, but I'm not gonna let you outwork me. So I try to carry that mentality everywhere I go. So as crazy, as wild it was that first day, the bullets are flying. I was just running around. I just had to keep my composure and keep going. Yeah. So that's just something I really believe in, is just to keep working hard, because working hard is only going to give you a chance. It can't guarantee you success, but it'll give you a chance. And not working hard will guarantee failure. So,
well said. Okay, before we came on the air, you chimed in on your job. So let everybody know out there. Said the incredible work ethic that you display every day. Said for 10 hours or what. I want you. I said I want everyone to hear this story.
All right. So my work ethic, honestly, it comes from my parents. Since I was about 8 years old, my parents have been investing in properties and stuff like that. And we don't have enough money to pay for people to fix stuff. So since 8 years old, it's been me, my mom, my dad, my brother, when he was younger, and we would just work in our houses. And I've done everything from construction to landscaping to all that for the houses. So half of my childhood, I would say, I spent working with my parents. So waking up early, having to go far to go work and stuff like that, that kind of stuff was natural to me. So that's just the only way I know. So now going to this summer, I'm fortunate enough to have a job now, and I'm a forklift operator. And I basically haul construction material around for contractors and stuff like that. And the hours are they're pretty grueling. They're from around 6:30 in the morning till give or take 6 p.m. at night. And I have to get my workout in. So I'll work out at 7 right after. And 3 days out of that week, I'll stay after and go to the football field and condition, because I need to be running while I'm lifting. So my day could probably end on a Monday at like 10 p.m. Then the next day, I got to wake up, do the same thing all over again. So honestly, it's the grind, and you just got to appreciate it. And like I said, I'm just grateful to have that opportunity. So I'm not gonna, I don't want to regret anything. So might as well just go for it now.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just in awe. I sit here, Leo, it's just, to have that type of stamina is just amazing. So God bless you. I wanted to go back to the coaching stuff. You talked about Coach Garrett. Can you talk about defense coordinator, said Matt Carter, just what they've meant to you, said personally, and just, I mean, the job they've done here.
Honestly, I love those guys. They've helped keep my head straight. They've helped keep me uh, honestly going the right path, because in college I did veer off a little bit, especially my freshman year. It was a little too fun, you could say. So having that structure in college that I wouldn't have had at home. So at home I would have that structure, but I was dorming and stuff like that. So kind of being on my own and stuff, having my coaches there, Coach G, Coach Prada there, they really help you and they stay on top of you. They always ask you how you're doing. Before COVID, I would be in their office all the time hanging out. So I developed a really good relationship with them. You know, having a relationship with someone is a two-way street. So your coach could
Yep. You there, Leo?
love you all you want, but if you don't put on, you won't develop that relationship.
Yeah.
So I loved sitting there. I love drawing up plays in Crider's office, and he gets mad because I always drop myself in the coverage, and he'll be like, "What are you doing?" So you know, I'm always in there. I always like to be around, and I love teaching life lessons and life skills that relate to football. And I'm truly blessed to have them as my coaches, honestly, because they really are. They really look out and they reach for the best in you, and they get it from.
Wonderful. You know, a true student of the game, Leo. You know, I was going to say that, you know, this game is also mentally. And then the fact is that, you know, you talk about practice, but there's also film sessions, you know, so those are just as critical if you want to really be the best.
Yeah, honestly, watching film is very important for me. Like that is very big for me. I have a notebook in my that I have every week. I'll put my opponents there. I'll draw their tendencies, things that I see on the offensive schemes, offensive line splits, all of that. Like I'll see the little things from an offensive lineman's leaning. Oh, I'll know that they're doing this. If I know that they have high hands or low hands when they try to shoot their hands at me, I know what direction to go. So there's multiple things that come into the film study, and I'll probably spend 20 to 15 minutes on one play, just because I'll be watching the details of every single person. I'll watch their hands, I'll watch their demeanor. Sometimes I'll know where you're going just based on the stance you have, the direction you're going, where your head is leaning. So there's a lot of different things that are in film that you have to see that will help you, because in a game, sometimes you might know what the play is just based off of how one person looks, and that might be the play that changes everything for the game. You know, that might change the momentum. It might start a comeback. It might slow momentum down. And on defense, you're not really making plays, you're destroying them. Offensive players make plays. So that's just one thing that is really important for me. Film study, I'm always on. Honestly, I wish I could get the film for games longer, sooner, because as soon as the game ends, honestly, I don't even like party or anything like that. I just want to sit down and watch the game. So,
Yeah, you have a career set up for coaching. Have you ever considered it, Leo?
yeah, honestly, yeah. I I I would be a coach, but I like one thing I always tell Coach Garrett is I respect him a lot for the simple fact is, you know how hard it is to be a coach, and the amount of time you spend with your players, you don't get to spend that time with the rest of your family, things like that. Yeah. So I honestly I really respect my coaches for that, because I don't have a kid yet, but I know when I do, I'm gonna want to spend a lot of time. And Coach G, they have missed certain things to be with us, and that's why you got to be really appreciative of those things, because as a parent, you don't get those things back. So if he's sacrificing that to be with us, then we better keep our head straight and actually do what we got to do.
Yeah, no, it's true. I had to ask you, just playing that defensive line position, wearing that number 56 jersey, and then also playing the NJAC. Can you just talk about those three components, like, you know, what those have meant to you, Leo?
Well, playing in the NJAC, it's really fun. People like to say that D3, they like to talk about D3, but they don't really know it until they play. Like, I know some people that have said some things about D3 to me, but they can't strap up against some of the dudes I play against. Yeah. So I know that for a fact. And honestly, the competition in the NJAC is for real. and I love it because I love competition. You know, nothing gets me more excited when I line up and the whole offensive line is bigger than me.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody's 6'5", 300 pounds. I get excited.
Yeah.
You know, because it's real football. That's how it is. And wearing that 56, man, I'm a Giants fan, so LT,
Oh,
you know, I already know
LT.
he was going to that reference. Yeah, LT, he's a special one.
Yeah.
But in high school, honestly, I got in my senior year. I jumped around a while with numbers, but my senior year, I stuck with 56. I loved it, and I took it to college with me after my freshman year. I'm sorry. So yeah, playing the NJAC is for real, and I love every bit of it.
Very nice. You know, just going back to Kean University, just as we know, it's also being a student athlete. But I had to ask you. I know it's different, of course. Here, you know, this past year, you know, not being in class, you know, learning here, but just the support, the overall support from the student body, from the athletic director, administration. Can you just talk about that, Leo?
We actually had a lot of help from our administrators and student body. There was a lot of things in place to help us. There was certain mental groups. I remember even when I was dorming, I had to quarantine twice in a span of 3 days. So I had a 2-week quarantine, then I got 2 days of freedom, so to speak, and then I had to go back to quarantine. So, and being that there would be people checking up on me, they would actually have the coaches come and call me. Besides the coaches already, you know, getting out of their way to reach out to me, they were specifically assigned to contact us. They would always make sure we were good. Anything to do with food, you know, they would accommodate us. But as far as classes, also, they did a really good job, I could say, about accommodating us. I know I had a lot of issues last semester when the pandemic was really serious, and they really helped me get better, honestly, and get through school, because I'm someone that likes to be in the classroom. I'm someone that likes to be in like a physical environment. So Zooms really were kind of hard for me, but I got through it. People helped me, you know, and I'm doing good so far, actually.
That's great. I mean, this is good training. You know, be able to multitask, and you know, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I said there's nothing. I mean, I said again, you alluded to the fact that you learned at an early age. I mean, this is, you know, I mean, as far as your career and, you know, as said, for your future. I mean, I'm sure this is, you know, you know, you're definitely living the dream right now, just being able to, you know, flourish in that setting, Leo.
Yeah, our Coach G likes to talk about. He always said in his recruiting talks, he always talks about how he wanted to play at Florida, and they always talk about, oh, he says he doesn't need to go to Ohio State or Rutgers to validate his career. And honestly, I couldn't love that anymore, because some people think just because you get to a certain level, just because you're there, that doesn't mean anything. Honestly, you have to go there and excel, because there's ballers everywhere. There's ballers in D3, D2, JUCO, NAIA, and honestly, you could find them anywhere. If you could play, you could play. If you could coach, you could coach. It doesn't really matter the level, but if you could play the game, you're gonna be able to play the game. So that's honestly something I really take to me. Like, this is my Ohio State, this is my Rutgers. Like, Kean University is my home at. So I really don't mind anything else, but like this is my home, and I appreciate everybody there, and I love being here.
I'm just wondering, during when you that selection process, when you're looking at colleges, what you know, what made Kean University, you know, said the difference maker, that, you know, this is, you know, where I felt most comfortable at, Leo.
So they were honest. I think honesty is something that really is lost in recruiting. Coach G likes to talk about the fluff of recruiting. Like, when I came on my visit to Kean, I didn't put on a jersey in the locker room. All my other visits, I put on jerseys. The coaches were taking pictures of me, things like that. My coach said, you want to wear the jersey? You come here and play for us. You get to take all the pictures you want, you know? And that kind of stuff really resigns to me, because I rather you tell me the dead honest truth than a sweet lie, because other schools were telling me a lot of things that I wanted to hear, and come to find out it was not true, none of it. And I was lucky. I made the right choice, because I just came to a school. When I came to Kean, there was 3 all-conference defensive linemen ahead of me, and there were other schools that needed people in my position. So I could have easily gone to those schools, maybe played, but I didn't really trust what the coaches were saying to me because I didn't really believe it. I don't know. There was just something that was shady to me about the coaches I talked to. But when I came here and I spoke to Coach Garrett, Kreider, everybody, I knew it was real from the jump. So that's why I made that decision.
You know what's so impressive, especially about Kean University, is the facilities. You talk about the football field. I think even Dante and David Thomas talked about, said the weight training. I mean, everything is set up perfectly. It's state of the art. I mean, for you guys, I mean, to really, thrive in that environment, Leo.
Yeah, honestly, we are blessed to have really good facilities. Our athletic training, honestly, is second to none. I think we have a underwater treadmill. I think the only school that
Yeah.
has it is Rutgers. So, like, those are some accommodations that other schools don't have. We have when you walk into the training room, there's about 3, 4 certified athletic trainers and about 6, 7 students that are there to help you. So you're always getting attended. You're always getting quality attention. There's a separate room for taping. So the athletic training room isn't going crazy with people. There's a separate room for that. Our weight room is amazing. We have a great strength and conditioning coach, Body by Graf. Coach Graf, he's the man. Honestly, he does a great job at what he does, and he really helps. He helped me get stronger, and he helped all of us get stronger. And I could thank you to him. That's my boy, Coach Graf.
That's
But yeah, our facilities, honestly, our football field
yeah.
is beautiful. We have a new baseball field, a new softball field. So honestly, that they came out beautiful. So
Yeah.
I'm just blessed to have the most amazing part is that they're easily accessible to us. So like it's nice to have all those things, but if they're closed all the time or there's only certain hours to go,
Yeah.
like it really don't work. But they make it available for us, so we could use it and we could get the most out of our workouts or athletic training sessions, and we can even use the field whenever we want to.
That's great. Yeah, I just have a couple more, Leo. Can't thank you for the time. Definitely can't forget about Union City High School. We got to take it back to those times.
Yeah,
What they meant to you. Head coach, I think Will Valdez. Can you just talk about your time there and what you were able to accomplish?
yeah. Being having a stadium on the roof. You got the best of every
Yeah.
team every week. So it was honestly it was really fun to play in that atmosphere, in that environment. One side of the field you get to see MetLife Stadium, the other side the whole New York skyline.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I took it for granted, but I that field was really amazing to play on. Honestly, that Union City High School really toughened me up, I would say. Playing for Valdez. Valdez has that tough guy mantra that, like I said, no one's gonna work harder for you. They'll lock us in a weight room, figuratively, obviously. They'll lock us in a weight room for months at a time. And we would just work out. And then when we would get the pads on, we would love. It was really fun at Union City, honestly. And like I said, you develop that tough guy mantra, not that cockiness, that I want to say the jockness, that stereotype come with football, but that true football toughness that you built. Well, Valdez was really good at bringing that to you. So I appreciate him for that, honestly.
What was it like? Friday, I asked high school football players this, and the fact that you played as well. Friday Night Lights, man. So what is that?
Yeah,
Just
honestly, it's
electricity. Just on that field.
it's second to none. Honestly, that band, I used to love our band. Our band used to be loud.
Yeah.
I used to be dancing right before plays. So yeah, that it was loud. Honestly, so are some games the fire marshal would have to shut the gate off because so many people would be at the games,
Yeah.
and it's on a roof, so the weight of all the people, he would have to shut the gates off. So it was honestly truly electrifying experience. Honestly, how the crowd would just go crazy after big plays and stuff like that. So it was truly fun to be a football player at Union City.
You probably answered it before, but for you personally, what makes the game of football so special? I mean, I'm wondering, growing up, any other sports you played, and when you truly knew that, look, football is something I really can be good at, and I can, be in this for a long time to come, Leo.
So I started playing. I wanted to play football at fourth grade, but my mom
Hmm.
didn't let me. So I
Okay.
had to beg her for like 3 years. Mom, let me play football. Let me play football. So I finally got to play football. And I'll never forget the starter on the team. He had been starting for years, since he was like 8 years old, and I'm about 12 now.
Mhm.
And I walk in, and the first thing they made me do is to line up on him, and I had to hit him. And I remember I put him out, and then I got up, and I was starting ever since. And I was like, yo, I love this game. I love this game. So honestly, that's just how I grew to love of it. My brother introduced me to football. He played at where my middle school was. It was a high school before, so he played at that high school. And I watched him play one game, and I fell in love with the game ever since. And then I wanted to play. So then I got to playing finally in 7th grade, and I haven't stopped ever since.
That's great. Uh, I'm just wondering, when it comes to like watching other college football players and maybe the NFL, any defensive lineman. I mean, you talked about LT, but anyone else that stands out that
Uh,
you try to sort of pick up some, definitely some tidbits, some nuggets, and try to apply it to your game, Leo.
so growing up, I was always like a true defensive end,
Hmm.
and my favorite player was OCU Manura
Yeah.
for the Giants,
Yeah.
and just his techniques, his pass rush moves, his get off. That was the number one thing that I used to get off of him. And then I remember my junior year of high school, my defensive the defensive tackles coach wanted to make me a defensive tackle. And I told him, no, I don't want to play defensive tackle. I want to play defensive end.
Yeah.
And then my first day our first day of pads my junior year, we're in an inside run segment,
Mhm.
and it's an offensive segment, and I don't really play offense too much. And my defensive end coach walked up to me. He said, you know how to play D tackle? And I was like, yeah, I've played it. I know how to play it. So next thing you know, I go play D tackle, and I make like three tackles for loss in a row. And then next thing you know, I was a defensive tackle. Then my defensive tackles coach walks up to me and says, I want you to watch this player. His name is Aaron Donald. And this was, I believe he's his first year in the league.
Mhm.
And I'm like, who is this guy? Like, who is this Aaron Donald guy?
Yeah.
So then I'll go 6 foot defensive tackle. And then I'm like, oh, like she's short. Like, what is he doing? Like, how? So then I would watch him, and then I was just truly like amazed. And uh, growing up, I would actually play. I want to say plays like him, so to speak, with his stature,
Mhm.
using his leverage a lot. So that's just something that's someone that I watch now almost exclusively, because he's just the best at it right now. And he's paved the way for short defensive linemen. Like nowadays, everybody wants to find the next Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
So that kind of helps me in effect, because I'm a short defensive tackle, no, a defensive lineman. People wouldn't normally see a 5'11", 6 foot defensive lineman and say, oh yeah, he could play at the next level. But now he paved the way for that. So that's honestly someone I watch almost exclusively because of that, because of how much I relate to him. So Aaron Donald is definitely the number one right now.
I know you talked about your family before, but I had this, just the support and just what, their reaction has been like you've been able to, again, accomplish here at Kean University, Leo.
Yeah, well, my parents honestly, they tell me all the time that they don't care what happens. They just want to see me leave with a degree.
Yeah.
That the school is always number one, and honestly, I can't thank them anymore, because they've pushed me. They've really instilled a lot of traits and characteristics and morality things and ethnic views, and just they taught me really what's right from wrong, and they taught me how to just figure it out. That's something I always tell my friends all the time. Like, sometimes you just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like life isn't always going to give you something. So they really instilled that on me. Coach Kreider and Coach G always talk about this formula. It's called E plus R equals O. An event plus your response equals the outcome. You can't control the event, and but you can control your response. So however your response is from that outcome, from that event, is going to lead to the outcome. And that's just something that my parents since a young age have been instilling on me. When we used to work, sometimes we would be in problems, and I would just look at my dad, and my dad would look at me and be like, how are we going to figure this out? But you got to figure it out. There's nobody there to help you. So that's just something that I've carried along with them. And no matter what, every time you get knocked down, you just got to get up. You just got to figure it out. You got to keep pushing. You just got to work hard, and they'll give you a chance to success.
Fantastic. Final question I have, Leo, is that you talked about being a leader on this team and leading by example, and I'm wondering what your message is as a senior, not only for those younger freshmen and sophomores on this team, and then coming up here in 2021 in the fall, and then also for younger kids out there, that aspire. They want to be a Leo Cruz, one day, playing, college football. Just wondering what your message, would be to them, or your advice.
Honestly, the to keep it as short and sweet as simple is that is hard work pays off, and I mean true hard work.
Mhm.
Because you could work hard one day and it'll look good. You could work hard the one day your coach is you're watching, it'll look good. You could work hard that one day that you're feeling good. Let me go out and work out a little bit extra because I'm feeling good. It's not about that. It's about consistently putting in one day, then day two, then day three, then day four. You can't just go to day one, day two, then go back to day one. Then day one, day three, day four. Oh, you can't go back to day one. People like to go about that I'll start Monday mentality. Like that mentality is not going to get you anywhere. I'm sorry. You have to work hard consistently every day, Monday through Sunday, in order to get to the goals you want. Because hard work will give you the goals you want. It will give you the outcome that you want. But some people like to work hard, but they don't really work hard. There's a true I want to say consistency that you have to have in order to become great. You have to be good with your studies. You have to be good. You have to stretch. You have to lift weights. You have to work on your positional things. You can't just do one thing or the other and expect to be great. You have to do everything consistently over time, get better and better and better, and actually learn from your mistakes and never repeat them, and just work hard, and you'll be able to get what your works deserve. Because at the end of the day, when it's that fourth quarter, when it's that 4th and 1, when the game is on the line, that sprint that you missed in the summer on a Tuesday afternoon is going to come back to haunt you. That rep that you didn't finish on that Friday night because you wanted to go and hang out with your friends, that's going to come back to haunt you. And you will get exposed if you don't do that. And it's happened to me. That's why I can say it proudly. And I've been on both ends of that spectrum. So I can truly say that if you work hard and you truly work hard and put in the work, that you're gonna get what your works deserve.
Hey, you're a class act, Leo. I said you have a very bright future ahead of you.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations on your success there. Kean University. Wishing you all the best, of course, with graduation upcoming, and just keep up the tremendous job.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.